Hello and welcome to a Theme Park Worldwide News Update! If you haven't already, make sure you check out the video that I uploaded just a few days ago talking about 12 different reasons why now is the best time to be a theme park enthusiast here in the UK. In that video I mentioned various different projects that are currently ongoing, some for this year, some for next year and also some for 2025 as well. And yeah, there's lots happening, and of course I mentioned in that video how I was going to do some separate videos talking more in detail about the things mentioned just there. But yes, in this video I'm going to be talking all about a new roller coaster that's set to open at Drayton Manor next year in 2024. Now of course this is a really exciting project because it's a much needed coaster for Drayton Manor. They've been needing a new roller coaster at that park for quite some time. The last one to open was actually 2011. That at the time was known as Ben 10. Obviously it later was rethemed into Accelerator. There's been a lot of changes going on at Drayton Manor these past couple of years. We've seen new things come in, we've seen old rides leave, RIP Apocalypse, but you know what, we've seen a lot of new stuff starting to come in. Go back 5-6 years at Drayton Manor, there was a lot of ride removals and nothing new was replacing them. These past couple of years we've seen Adventure Cove with the rapids, the wave swinger, the play area, and then of course last year we saw the opening of Vikings, a brand new themed area with some beautifully themed flat rides and an overall expansion to the size of the park. That's set to continue this year with a new ride in Thomasland, and then of course as we move into next year, a new roller coaster which is set to be a family thrill coaster. That's one of those that it's quite hard to determine exactly what it's going to be, but in this video we're going to look at a few different possibilities of what this ride could be, along with talking about the location and also a quote as well from the managing director of Drayton Manor. But yeah, really exciting. Let's get straight into this then. So yeah, new family thrill roller coaster. Now of course, Drayton Manor has got Shockwave, which is a stand-up roller coaster, very intense, very thrilling ride. Along with that, of course, you've got Jormungandr, the old buffalo, which is the powered coaster. Then you have got Accelerator, which is the nice Vekoma family boomerang. And then, of course, the little Gerstlauer in Thomasland as well, Troublesome Trucks. So yeah, this is a much-needed ride because you think you've got 3 smaller coasters, 1 large coaster. Hopefully, this is going to be something kind of in the middle, a step up, if you like, from the likes of Accelerator, Troublesome Trucks, that next level, but not of course quite as thrilling as Shockwave. That's what I'm expecting when they say family thrill from this. But let's just read out this quote from the managing director Victoria Lynn, who said a couple of weeks ago, "This is going to be one of the best roller coasters in the UK in my opinion. I think it's important to say we are still doing family thrill and not just kids rides. We have already broken ground. Part of that was removing Apocalypse to pave the way." So lots of information to kind of dissect into there from Victoria Lynn. Firstly, big statement saying that this is going to be one of the best roller coasters in the UK in her opinion. So yeah, that's quite an interesting thing, because if they were going to be building quite a small ride, I don't think she'd be saying that, because the worst thing to do is hype something up and then the park under deliver. So yeah, saying that, I think we're going to be seeing quite a substantial ride. Whether it will actually be one of the best in the UK or not, well, I guess we'll all be the judge of that when it opens next year. However, that's quite a big statement to make, so I do think we're looking at quite a big ride here. I don't think we're going to be seeing some small little coaster. Family thrill, you know, there's a lot of possibilities with this one. Along with that, it's nice how she's actually referenced the fact that, you know, they're doing family thrill still and not just kids rides. Obviously, you've got to a point where all these thrill rides have been coming out and just kids stuff going back in, and people thinking, you know, come on, Drayton Manor, you know, is that it now? Is it just going to be for kids? No, they've made it clear that they still want to appeal to everyone, kind of a bit like Paulton's Park do. I mean, they've made some real good investments these past 5 years. So much has gone in down there. I think Drayton Manor are trying to do something similar to that, to be honest. But yeah, that's very exciting. But yeah, I do like the fact that, you know, they have referenced that. Along with that as well, she just say the obvious, which the fact they've broken ground on this and removing Apocalypse was part of this as the plan. So obviously, yeah, it's sad to see Apocalypse go. In my opinion, nothing will replace Apocalypse. I loved that ride. However, for the future of the park, to benefit the future of Drayton Manor, a new coaster will certainly help them out. You know, this is going to be a big investment for them, the biggest investment that Looping Group have put into the park, and it's just nice to see something brand new and fresh coming into the park. So where will it be built? Obviously, you know, we know it's going to be located at the top section of the park, but where exactly? So if we pull up this here from Google Maps, love a bit of Google Maps, you can see just here quite a big site at the top of the park. Obviously the footprint of Apocalypse wasn't actually that big. It was an Intamin giant drop, you know, it didn't take up that much space. But then you think about Pandemonium that was removed the year prior, that took up a bit of room. Next to that, you've got where the old Ferris wheel used to be. That got took out quite a few years ago now and replaced with an upcharge attraction called Test Track. But yeah, I'd imagine that area will be used. We saw markings a couple of years ago around this whole area, and there was a lot of markings as well, which suggests quite a good layout for this new coaster. Along with that as well, you've got the areas where the toilets are at the top, quite a bit of open dead space around there, and they've also got the building, the old Cedar Fish and Chips, if you remember that. Not the one that's down by the lake now, one that used to be further back. It wouldn't surprise me if we see that demolished. There's a lot of room around there, kind of all to the back of Jormungandr. You know, obviously that track kind of comes in on the left-hand side of the image, but a lot of room to play with. Then you go down the route of, while Drayton Manor are actually putting in a lot of themed areas. You know, they created Adventure Cove a couple of years ago. They've just opened Vikings last year. Are they going to want to make a new themed area for this? Because I think they will do. I mean, they're obviously wanting to follow these different areas now. I think we're probably going to see a new themed area. And then you think about, well, is this area just going to be the coaster, or could they expand it out to include other rides? Because you've got to think, just off to the side of there, you've got the Haunting. Along with that, there's Drunken Barrels, and also as well, Sheriff Showdown. So you think about them rides that are also there. Could it all be incorporated somehow? I mean, maybe they could do some re-themes or light re-themes to fit them in. Drunken Barrels, that could easily be something like Wild West, for example, if you wanted to, and fit that more in. With Sheriff Showdown, with the Wild West theme, how the Haunted would fit into that, I'm not too sure. But, you know, there's ways that they can do this sort of thing. So, you know, maybe we could see a full themed area here, or including them rides, or it could just be an area to the side of that, you know, and they kind of make a street and then kind of connect you into another area. Who knows? But yeah, it's very exciting. So we spoke about the location. Let's talk about what exactly we could be seeing here. Family thrill coaster. There's so many different rides that this could be from a lot of different manufacturers. Obviously, we know that Drayton Manor have had a really good relationship with Intamin over the years. So that's certainly a strong contender to be a manufacturer for this. However, there's a lot of other manufacturers that do family thrill coasters. I mean, you've got like the Vekoma Bermuda Blitz, Gerstar family launch coasters, something like that. I personally think a launch coaster could be what we're seeing. I mean, I think that'd be a fantastic ride for the park. A launch coaster would be great for Drayton. It would be very different to any of their offering, and also as well, they're very cost effective if you build a launch coaster now, you know. So yeah, that could be interesting. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we see something from Intamin. You know, they've used them a lot over the years with the likes of Apocalypse, Maelstrom, the Rapids, Shockwave, you know, more recent projects, you know, like Drunken Barrels, for example, that was Intamin. They've loved them over the years, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see them go for them. In terms of what they could go for, maybe some sort of family launch coaster from Intamin. That could be a great ride, whether that be a complete circuit layout or a multi-pass launch, you know, where it kind of goes through a few times through the station or a launch section. Maybe they could add spinning elements to it. It could be a spinning coaster that we could see on there. However, yeah, you know, I'm thinking more kind of Intamin multi-launch, possibly what we could see going onto that site. You got to think it is family thrill. Does that mean we're going to see inversions or not? I'm probably leaning towards no inversions. However, it could have inversions. It'll be interesting to see. I personally would like to see it have a lot of airtime, because that's something that we lack a lot here in the UK. I'd love to see it have packed with airtime hills, really tight corners, some nice helixes as well. Just so we do a bit of helix whilst we're chanting going round. But yeah, that's what I'd like to see. And yeah, I think, you know, Intamin would be a great manufacturer to see them go for. The build quality, they build some great rides, and Intamin are the king of launches as well, aren't they, really? Especially on some of their newer models. I mean, they always have been, haven't they? You know, kind of pioneering the hydraulic launch, but yeah, you know, with the LSMs and things now, they do some great stuff. So yeah, that's kind of all we know so far. Not loads of information about this project, but it's very exciting. A new family thrill roller coaster coming to Drayton Manor next year, and obviously that's going to be going up ahead quite a few of the different rides that are happening next year. Exodus down at Thorpe Park, the new dueling coaster at Legoland, they're opening next year, a new water ride at Poulton's. Exciting times. Like I say, check out that video video with the 12 reasons if you haven't already seen it. And yeah, it'll kind of explain why now really is an amazing time to be an enthusiast here in the UK. But as always, we'll keep you updated. Drayton Manor is one of our local parks. We'll be there quite a lot this year, filming all the construction and yeah, keeping you all up to date as soon as we find out more here on our channel. Well, there we go. Let us know your thoughts. What would you like to see built at Drayton Manor for their 2024 roller coaster? Comment down below. That leaves me with one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. We'll see you all in the next video.